headlines of this hour on VTV News. Prime Minister chairs conference to explore measures for alleviating capital difficulties. And National Assembly Chairman starts official visit to Thailand. And in our world news, Russia's president visits Saudi Arabia.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time and you're tuning in for 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired a conference on Thursday to discuss measures for addressing credit difficulties in production and business activities. The objective is to promote growth and maintain macroeconomic stability. The conference was attended by leaders from various ministries and sectors, as well as the heads of 38 commercial banks. In his speech, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính commended the banking industry and commercial banks for their efforts in implementing the government's directives on improving customer access and facilitating investment capital flow. However, he also highlighted certain limitations, such as low credit growth and uneven growth rates. The Prime Minister called on all relevant parties to take responsibility and contribute to overcoming the current challenges for the collective goal of development. He specifically requested that the State Bank proactively implement monetary policies that prioritize effective economic and credit growth. National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ and her high-ranking Vietnamese National Assembly delegation arrived in Dam Muang Military Airport in Bangkok, Thailand on Thursday morning to begin an official visit. First Deputy House Speaker Patipat Suntipharat and other Thai officials, along with the staff of the Vietnamese Embassy and representatives of the Vietnamese community in Thailand, greeted the top legislator. This marks National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huê's first official visit to Thailand as the chief legislator of Vietnam. The visit coincides with the formation of a new government in Thailand. And in the afternoon, the Speaker of Thailand's House of Representatives will host an official welcome ceremony and hold talks with National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ. $11 Vietnamese localities have attracted over $1 billion in foreign direct investment or FDI since the beginning of this year. This year, 3 new localities have made the list, namely Nghệ An, Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu, and Hải Dương. Quảng Ninh is still leading the country in FDI attraction with a total registered investment capital of more than $3.1 billion, accounting for 10.8% of the country's total. Ho Chi Minh City ranks second with over $3 billion, representing 10.7%. Following closely are Hải Phòng, Bắc Giang, and Hà Nội. The initial shipment of Diem Pomelos, totaling 16 tons out of an order of 48 tons, has been exported from Hòa Bình province to the U.S. The province has also received orders for pomelos from various EU countries and the U.S., which highlights its dedication to expanding export markets and increasing the export volume of local agricultural products.
This batch of Diem Pomelos was harvested from growing areas in Hòa Bình province that are certified by Global Gap. After taking samples for inspection, in order to enter the U.S. market, the fruit must meet over 900 plant protection criteria and also have a desirable appearance and sugar level.
To export to the U.S., each pomelo must weigh approximately 1 kilogram, with a minimum sugar level of 13 grams per pomelo. To meet this quality standard, farmers need to take special care of the trees throughout the flowering, fruiting, and harvesting stages.
This is the second year that Hòa Bình had exported Diem pomelos. The province has received orders for pomelos from several EU countries this year, as well as 3 orders from the US, totaling approximately 70 tons in weight.
This year, Americans have the opportunity to enjoy the taste of our pomelos. Even though they have not tried it yet, customers are eagerly anticipating our products based on the description. Our pomelos are sold at a price that is twice as high as Chinese ones in the US market.
The exportation of Huabing pomelo to the U.S. market, one of the most demanding markets, presents opportunities for Leungseon District to promote local products and lays the foundation for farmers to enhance the quality of their products.
After 35 days, the first batch of ZN pomelos is expected to be available on U.S. supermarket shelves. Thanks to new post-harvest preservation technology, fresh pomelos can now be stored for up to 4 months. This allows for large-scale export by sea to distant markets like the US and EU, resulting in lower cost and improved competitiveness.
Vietnam's exports to China experienced a noticeable growth of 6.2% over an 11-month period. This is a significant increase in Vietnamese exports to a major export market. The estimated export turnover to China for this period is nearly 56 billion US dollars. Specifically, the export value reversed from a decrease of 2.2% to an increase of 6.2%. Meanwhile, the US remains Vietnam's largest export market with an estimated turnover of over 88 billion US dollars, accounting for 27% of Vietnam's total export turnover. Additionally, the export value of goods to other major markets, such as the EU, is estimated to be nearly 40 billion US dollars, while the export value to ASEAN is estimated to be more than 29 billion US dollars. Product traceability is a key objective of the Sustainable Coffee Production Project. It aims to help farmers and businesses establish a production chain for coffee that meets the stringent regulations of export markets. To ensure quality and sustainability in the coffee industry, coffee origin tracing stamps are provided as a solution. These traceability stamps have been instrumental in enhancing the brand of Vietnamese coffee manufacturers.
By scanning a code on the coffee bag, consumers can access details about where the coffee is grown, the name of the farm owner, and whether the coffee was grown on deforested land.
Both businesses and farmers must comply with the principles set out by the Agricultural Ministry. All coffee-growing households must ensure 100% traceability of their coffee.
Since 2018, this company has established connections with 3,000 households in Lam Dong province. With the assistance of the Netherlands Development Organization SNV, farmers in Lat Commune now have full confidence in labeling their coffee packaging with their names and the corresponding area.
We have supported farmers by enrolling them in a traceability system to ensure that their coffee farms do not contribute to deforestation and are cultivated in a sustainable manner. These farms comply with the 4C and rainforest standards, which serve as evidence that these households meet the highest international standards for coffee export.
Flowers, tea, macadamia coffee, and silk are products that Lam Dong contributes to the global value chain. In this regard, farmers should gradually establish a value chain with businesses at its core and farmers as members. The ultimate goal should be sustainable development.
Currently, Lam Dong province has 20 coffee production chains involving more than 9,000 member households. To preserve the global value chain for Lam Dong coffee, the provincial authorities are prioritizing the mobilization of individuals to adhere strictly to sustainable production processes. Furthermore, traceability measures are being implemented to enhance the value of Lam Dong coffee beans in the global market.
Businesses and localities across the country are currently making efforts to ensure a stable supply of goods in order to avoid interruptions in the supply chain and price fluctuations. According to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, it is necessary to combine promotions with market stabilization in order to stimulate consumption demand during the year-end period.
This retailer has stimulated consumption demand by selling early Tet products for businesses and providing a representative at the stall to support customers. They also help businesses stabilize their selling prices.
When manufacturers' representatives consult directly at the supermarket, we can obtain more specific and detailed information about the products.
This customer has just decided to purchase over 500 Tet gift packages. Making the purchase at this time will enable the manufacturers to have an appropriate selling plan, and the customers can buy them at a better price.
Today, I successfully negotiated for the gift box. I can choose the products inside the box, and the manufacturer has also offered me a discount of 12 to 25%.
This retailer has organized Tet markets in 3 regions. These markets are set up at distribution systems to bring Vietnamese goods closer to consumers.
We want to bring traditional Tet markets to customers. We also bring bonus gifts and sell products at reasonable prices to reach even the low-income customer group.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade is cooperating with localities and businesses to ensure an adequate supply of essential goods and smooth logistics nationwide.
We guarantee reasonable selling prices with minimal fluctuations. Additionally, businesses are actively participating in the market stabilization program, offering customers a 5 to 10% discount during the year-end period.
It is expected that with solutions to both promote and stabilize the market, purchasing power during Tet will witness significant growth.
After the Prime Minister's directive on managing credit to ensure adequate capital supply for the economy, the State Bank issued a decision allowing banks that have reached 80% of their credit target to increase credit limit based on last year's ranking. This is expected to help businesses in need of capital promptly access cash flow.
Due to a 30% increase in the number of orders, this business is working with the bank to develop an exchange rate insurance plan to stabilize cash flow.
In December, our imports increased up to $5 million, so the exchange rate insurance helps reduce our costs by 3 to 5 billion VND.
Aside from reducing lending interest rates from 2 to 3%, banks also have solutions to ensure output, which exempt businesses from having to prove assets before disbursement.
We also worked with related industries and associations both domestically and internationally to understand their consumption patterns so that we can pre-plan credit growth limits to suit customers' plans.
By reducing loan conditions, promoting capital for priority areas, this bank hopes to grow by 18% before the year ends.
We connect large businesses with small businesses so their output and input match each other. We also linked businesses with people to form a closed circle.
The fact that the banks can proactively adjust their credit limit growth for the whole year, provided that they meet the requirements of the state bank, will help commercial banks create a more detailed and long-term plan.
By knowing the criteria and the framework of the banking industry regarding credit limits and ranking scores, commercial banks will be able to have more active decisions in their operation.
According to banks, in addition to reducing interest rates and proactively limiting credit limits, to achieve the target growth of 14% this year, the market also needs the capital absorption capacity of businesses.
Now let's take a look at the foreign exchange rate of today, December 7th. Coming up next on VTV News. COP28 mobilizes climate finance from private sector. And 10 Vietnamese dishes and specialties achieve new Asian records. Welcome back to VTV News. The 28th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Convention on Climate Change, or COP28, mobilized over $57 billion from various sectors in just 4 days of the event. Financial pledges and commitments covered finance, health, food, nature, and energy. More in the following story.
In the first 4 days, COP28 has mobilized over $57 billion in new pledges and commitments. More than half of these funds come from the private sector and are allocated towards implementing favorable solutions.
The government, community, and investors all have a responsibility to pursue sustainable and favorable development.
COP28 is known as the Conference of Financial Commitments. The private sector is stepping in to make up for the shortfall in climate finance, which will also benefit Vietnam.
We prioritize the private sector as a financial source due to its expected sustainability and feasibility in the future.
The Prime Minister also urged the international community to fulfill its commitments with practical actions. In this process, developed countries have a crucial role to play. They should take the lead and support developing countries financially through reimbursable aid, as well as facilitate technology transfer.
COP28 will also announce 3 additional commitments related to the fields of energy and emission reduction in the coming days.
Deputy Prime Minister Chen Hong-ha has just signed a decision to approve the plan for preserving, repairing, and restoring the special national scenic spot known as Gành Đá Đĩa, or the Disc Rock Rabbits, in Tuy An District, Phú Yên Province. The planning and research scope covers an area of over 800 hectares in Division 9, An Ninh Đông Commune, Tuy An District. The objective of this plan is to fully recognize and preserve the unique geological values of the disc rock rabbits, while also protecting the water surface resources, biodiversity, geology, geomorphology, and cultural heritage of the local communities. Additionally, this initiative will contribute to promoting the value of this scenic spot, making it an attractive tourist destination not only for Phú Yên Province, but also for the South Central region and the entire country. In Quảng Ngãi Province, the Gò Cỏ Community Tourism Village has been recognized as a 3-star OCOP, One Commune, One Product since 2020. This recognition has helped promote the potential and advantages of this locality. Being acknowledged as an OCOP tourism product has created new opportunities for Gò Cỏ, positively impacting the lives of many locals.
Gò Cỏ Ancient Village is home to approximately 83 households. Since the village was recognized as a 3-star One Commune, One Product, community-based tourism has flourished.
I used to be a fisherman, but for about a year now, I have switched to working as a security guard at a tourist attraction. The income is better in my new job.
I used to grow cassava, but ever since I started participating in community-based tourism, I can earn the equivalent of a crop in just 2 days. Tourism has greatly improved my quality of life.
Enterprises and organizations have partnered with local communities to implement community-based tourism, creating a clean and green living environment for visitors.
The village is beautiful, and the road here is in good condition. I hope to return here one day with my family.
I didn't expect Quảng Ngãi to have such a beautiful place. Everything is wonderful, the nature, the scenery, and the people.
Gò Cỏ Village currently has 9 community tourism teams offering a variety of services. Since the beginning of the year, the village has welcomed over 5,000 visitors, which is double the number from last year.
A new exhibition has opened at the Hỏa Lò prison relic site to commemorate the 51st anniversary of the Điện Biên Phủ victory and the 50th anniversary of handing over American pilots. The exhibition, entitled Scales of War, recalls memories of the historic 12-day and night battle in December 1972, when the Vietnamese army and people defeated U.S. airstrikes in the north.
The exhibition is arranged in 3 parts demonstrating the severity of strategic raids by the U.S. Air Force and Navy in northern Vietnam. It also depicts the lives of people and soldiers in Hanoi in late 1972. During the early days of Operation Linebacker II, Dick and his comrades were ordered to protect Hanoi when they were on duty in Nghệ An province. Meanwhile, Hung and his comrade defeated an F-111 fighter.
We applied various military tactics to detect B-52 bombers. Thanks to unique tactics of target detecting, we could issue an alert on incoming B-52 bombers 30 minutes in advance.
U.S. fighters flew over the city all day and night, but our commander did not let us to shoot them down. We didn't know why at first, but very soon, we realized the reason behind his orders. In fact, he needed time to deploy additional soldiers and weapons to support us in defeating U.S. fighters.
At the exhibition, a section called Lane of Memories introduces many letters of American pilots who were detained at Hoa Lo and other prisons in the north. They wrote letters for their families on the occasion of Christmas. Thomas, son of a U.S. pilot detained at Hoa Lo prison, has visited the relic site many times. He came here to learn more about his father's life in Vietnam.
Every time I come to Hoa Lo, I feel like I'm home.
Historical photos and artifacts recall memories of both the Vietnamese and American people during wartime. The sacrifice of Vietnamese soldiers and the endurance of Hanoi residents have deeply embedded in the hearts and minds of many people.
10 more Vietnamese culinary dishes and specialties have been recognized as new Asian records by the Asian Record Organization. This brings the total number of Vietnamese items in these categories to 60 since 2012. The newly recognized records include 5 Asian specialties, namely Saigon bread from Ho Chi Minh City, mussel rice from Thừa Thiên Huế Province, Phan Tiet hot pot from Bình Thuận Province, the Micheli soup with special broth from Sóc Trăng Province, and additionally 5 natural and gift specialties have also made the record list, including green sticky rice from Vong Village in Hanoi, sesame candy from Thừa Thiên Huế Province, Đà Lạt strawberries from Lâm Đồng Province, and Chả Cuôn cylindrical sticky rice cake from Trà Vinh Province. Coming up next in our world news, Russia's president visits Saudi Arabia. And Australia's proposed koala haven under threat as logging increases. Moving on to our world news, Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in Saudi Arabia on Wednesday, following his visit to the United Arab Emirates, a neighboring Gulf country. This foreign trip is a rarity for Putin. During his meeting with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Putin emphasized the importance of their friendly relations and invited the Crown Prince to visit Moscow. He also stressed the significance of exchanging information and assessments regarding the region. Mohammed, in response, acknowledged the role of Russian-Saudi cooperation in enhancing security in the Middle East and expressed confidence that their future collaboration would positively impact the global situation. Saudi Arabia has reduced its official crude oil selling prices to Asia for the next month due to a continuing supply glut. State-owned Saudi Aramco will lower the price of its flagship Arab light crude oil to Asia by 50 cents, bringing it to $3.5 per barrel starting in January. These price cuts by Saudi Arabia highlight the intense competition to attract Asian customers in a market that has an oversupply of oil. Last week, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, or OPEC Plus, agreed to reduce their combined oil supplies by over 2 million barrels per day, with approximately half of that reduction coming from Saudi Arabia. The white paper on the National Strategy for Development of Indonesia's Digital Economy 2030 has been launched as a reference for the country's digital transformation efforts. According to the Ministry of Economic Affairs, this document outlines the national agenda for digital transformation, aligning with the digital economy framework negotiations promoted by Indonesia. Indonesia is projected to require approximately 9 million workers in the digital sector over the next 15 years, which means the country will need to produce 600,000 digitally capable talents annually. The development of the digital economy is supported by 6 main pillars: infrastructure, human resources, business climate and cybersecurity, research innovation and business development, funding and investment, and policies and regulations. Australia aims to create by 2025 a Great Koala National Park by merging a national park and public forest land in New South Wales. But environmentalists and local forest advocates warn the best koala feed trees and habitats could be gone by then, as native forest logging has increased in the area.
Nestled amid old eucalyptus forests in Australia's New South Wales lives an estimated 15% of the state's dwindling koala population. The habitats of these iconic Australian animals are set to get more protection as early as 2025, with the government's plans to merge 315,000 hectares of national park and public forest land into the Great Koala National Park. However, environmentalists and local forest advocates warn that the best koala feed trees and habitats could be gone due to increased native forest logging in the area.
There's been a massive expansion and intensification of logging in some of the most biodiverse areas of the Great Koala National Park.
The koala was classified as endangered in New South Wales, Queensland, and the Australian Capital Territory in 2022, with environmental groups estimating that koalas could be extinct in the wild in New South Wales by 2050 if action isn't taken. Advocates and environmental groups are calling for the state government to ban logging in the entire proposed Great Koala National Park areas.
They should create the Great Koala National Park, and while they do that, stop these koala feed trees being logged.
The Australian government was trying to get the Great Koala National Park in place as soon as possible, but cited a commitment to also work with the local community and industries.
We weren't just going to press a stop altogether straight away and without any plan for what happens with those communities and without a proper assessment of the forests.
Experts believe that a ban on native forest logging in the Great Koala National Park area is not the only solution. However, it is essential to ensure the park becomes a world-class conservation area.
Now, before we say goodbye, let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that is it for our news bulletin. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.